slices very nicely, like bread. It just tastes like flour. I don't understand why. There's the juice. Okay, I need my thermometer. Ouch. 65. I guess I just stick her here.
Super often does this as well. But his complications doesn't do.
Okay, internal temperature there is not even 160 yet. So that's not gonna do it for me. Just barely 160. I need 165. So we're gonna leave this baby in a little while longer. Let's go this way. I don't think I'm doing it right. Let's do the leg. Oh. Yeah, not quite hot enough for me.
No. Boy, keep forgetting about it.
Let's not waste any more time. I need that temperature. All right, I'm gonna just take this out because I don't want it to burn. And I'm just gonna let it rest. Smells so good, so good. Oh. Get a grip. E.
We have 1 hour left until they cut the power. So what I've done is I've gone in.
good look at that. Yes. Not entirely crispy, but it's firm. Now these black bits, lesson learned. You just put seasonings. You don't put like, these are just onions. Of course, onions are going to crisp up and burn after 2 hours of being cooked. They're onions, so we'll just take a little of that off. I don't want to scrape too hard and get the yes. I wonder why it took so long for the juice to come out. The juices didn't come out for like an hour. The first hour it was like dry. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna really have any flavor. I do need to, let's take the temp again, because I want to be sure. Let's put it in the armpit. Oh. All right. The armpit is giving 180. 181. Let's check this armpit. That leg is going to fall off. That armpit is giving 190. Let's check under here. Okay, that's what it needed. That additional almost 25 minutes, 190. I'm gonna get into the, yeah. It needed that extra time. Let's go inside. Yeah. And one more place to check. In here. Okay, thermometer. Cool back down. We're staying up there. Let's get in here. Okay. It's good.
So that's why I feel like the midnight stuff this year's gonna be easier because we actually have less. Maybe it isn't hard to that, you know?
Something so satisfying about doing this. I don't know if it's doing anything or not, but it is satisfying. If I had some fresh parsley, I would use it. I don't want to use any basil because not everybody likes basil. But I wish I had some fresh parsley, indeed. Alright, chicken. Get your ass in here. Yes. Perfect. I need a lemon. Now what? This will fit perfectly. Young M.A. Where's Young M.A.? How did they get? beyond, right?
Haven't been bold enough to join a specific support group in order to help you find fellowship with people that are in the same situation that you are, this is a great time to join such a group, to find that fellowship, to find that support, because, you know, with days like today where there's a lot of family gatherings and there's a lot of happiness, and of course, it's a great time for children. They're having a ball today with, you know, Easter egg hunts and lots of chocolate bunnies and all that kind of stuff. You know, being a kid is being spoiled. Take a moment for yourself. Think of what you want to, you know, what your goals are, and keep in mind
It's been a minute. What's up? Hey, how you doing? Oh, no. Gray, go mind your business, please. Okay. So, it is Wednesday, the third day of National Infertility Awareness Week, and I have not prepared, nor have I posted, nor have I done anything. I intended to, but the time just got away from me, and all of a sudden, it's day 3. Day 1 was share your story. Day 2 was, I think, post and tag your loved ones and supporters through it all. Day 3 is wear your orange and or your pineapples. And I don't know what days 4 and 5 are. I don't remember. But I try to participate every year, just to keep the fire burning, right? This year, what happened? I just got behind. It was like everything is like backed up one after another. It was Good Friday, and then it was Easter, and then the next day I had something going on. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was that jacked me up. So I took the first day off, which is the 21st, and I did something else and did not prepare ahead of time to post on that Monday. So, and then the second day I went to work half a day in the office and it was busy. And then the rest of the day we went and did some work shit, or we did some fun shit with work people. Anyway, I'm looking greasy because I am greasy. I don't know why. Don't look at my makeup. I tried some new shit and it's not working out. Ooh, put these glasses back on. Yikes. Cut this part out. Put these back on. Anyway, that was yesterday. And today, another day of work, I managed to, this is the least that I could do, was throw on some orange real quick and jump in the participation. But I don't know. I kind of had some reservations about honestly doing it this year. Not for anything bad. I just, I kind of don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over. Like, if it was a different challenge every year, then perhaps, but it's the same week every day you do the same thing. I don't know if I'm making sense. I say all that to say, I don't know how many times outside of me just sharing my particular journey on my channel, I don't know how many times I want to share my story. I'm going to do it for the new people here, but I'd rather talk. Oh, and then the other thing that happened yesterday that I missed was Earth Day. So it's how is all of this shit happening on the same week all of a sudden? Because it wasn't like that in the past. Easter, and then I had personal plans, and then it was work stuff and Earth Day, all in the middle of National Infertility Awareness Week. So I'm just girl, I don't know. I didn't even do anything for Earth Day. Everything got away from me. But anyways, yeah, I just don't know how many times I want to share my story, my infertility story and journey. All the people around me know what's up at this point. Because like I said, I've been doing this every year and posting on all socials. And I don't feel like posting on socials. Probably mostly that's the reason why. I don't fuck with Facebook right now. And I'm on Instagram and I use it to look at other people's stuff, but I just haven't been posting. I haven't posted on Instagram since this time last year when I posted about Infertility Awareness Week. So I don't want to just keep doing that. I'm over it. I want to get involved in other ways, and I just didn't have time to do that this year because it's already the end of April. This year is flying by. I feel like the months are shorter than they normally are. Anyway, so what else? I wanted to do a quick story time.
not of like my personal infertility story, but just a story time. I'm not sure that I'm going to have time to do it though. So this is just the setup. And then when I get home from the gym, am I going to the gym today? I need to take my ass to the gym today. When I get home today, I will tell the story of what I want to tell. And then I'll do a recount, a reboot of like my situation. I'm not making sense, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up and get off here. But right now, I'm gonna go have lunch. I had to go and pick up my prescription, but and my lunch break is almost over. But I'm gonna go back to the office, have the lunch that I brought, and do some work. All right, bye. Bye, okay? Bye. You know what? Let's just get it done. Let's just do it. Let's just get it done. I'm just going to do it. I have a few more minutes while it's hot in me, okay? Because if I wait any longer, I'm not going to tell the story. And that's a waste of experience and content. Anyways, so I had this bright idea to take the day off on Monday and take my dad up to the lake that is nearby where I reside. And so I haven't done this in probably like 4 or 5 years. But my vision was we'll go up to the lake after the Easter holiday weekend. So nobody should be up there. It'll be nice weather. We could be in the water, or I was going to be in the water, and my dad, he could fish. He loves fishing, gets a big kick out of it. He hasn't been in a while, and I just thought this would be a great opportunity for us to spend some time locally and go fishing, right? So I'll cut the first 4 hours. Let me think. Was it 4? Yeah, I'll cut the first 4 hours, which were a total waste, and get to the part where we actually arrived at the lake, arrived at our, into the area that we were gonna like set up a tent. Like I borrowed a tent, he brought his chairs and fishing gear and stuff. I brought food, and we had a little cooler with ice and drinks, like just really basic shit. Nothing fancy, nothing big. We just brought what we needed in order to have a good time at the lake for a few hours. I thought it was just going to be a few hours, but I should have known. My dad likes to do things all day long and all night long if you let him. So we get to our spot, which by that time, everybody that was there, they were just like unloading their boats and their canoes and their like surfboard things. I don't know what you call this, but it's basically like a surfboard, whether inflatable or like plastic, that you stand on and you paddle. Like, what sport is that? What is that called? What's the board called? It's basically a surfboard shape, but like, well, no, it's I think just as long. You stand on it and you paddle, like one paddle, and you just go around the water standing up doing that. There was a lot of that. So people were unloading and then just like pushing off from that like watering hole area and like going out into the lake. Nobody else was like actually posted up. It wasn't until we came and posted up that later on everybody else came, right? So we came, and then a group of teenage girls came and they set up their tent, and then shortly after that a group of teenage boys came and set up their tent right next to the girls, and then after that like 3 or 4 families pulled up in their trucks and tow trucks and jeeps and all kinds of shit, just pulled up to the watering hole around us and set up their tents, tables, barbecue, whatever it was. Like they just set up their speakers too, which was like, it was kind of jacked up because it was like a scene out of Do the Right Thing, where dude had his boombox everywhere he went, and then he was battling the the Puerto Ricans with how like their speaker battle. Do you remember that scene? It was literally like that between our speaker and one of their family's big ass speaker. And it was jacked up because we were there first and they pointed their speaker directly at us and it was loud as hell and it was music that we didn't want to hear. And so it was just jacked up every time they turned their speaker up or moved it like directly towards us, we would turn ours up. So it was like a battle of the speakers and it was just wild. But before we even get to that part, I don't know how this happened, but I guess I chose the wrong day to go to the lake because Monday was like senior ditch day for whatever high school. I don't know what high school would be around there. I really don't. But it was like 75 teenagers were coming in like different big ass groups, coming right through our like camp where we were and climbing the cliff and like jumping off and going swimming into the lake, which was fine. But it was like, damn, where did all y'all come from? It was like like waves of teenagers. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't y'all supposed to be at school? Like, it's Monday morning. The holiday is over. It's not spring break. It's not summer break. Y'all haven't graduated yet. It's only April still. So finally, one of the groups that was like cutting through our freaking camp, I was like, is this, what is this, senior ditch day or something? And he's like, yeah, something like that. Like gangs of teenagers. And all they were doing was, and it was fine. I'd rather have gangs of teenagers coming through and having a good time than a bunch of adults who are like entitled, rude, racist, mean, drunk. You know what I mean? Like, adults fuck it up very quickly. So the teens, they were just doing their thing, having a good time. And it was like simply innocent. Even the teenagers that cracked a few beers open. It was like, they didn't hurt anybody. I don't like that they were drinking because to get to the lake, it's a bit of an ordeal and like you just don't want to take that risk. I mean, I wouldn't want my teenager taking that risk of like drinking or riding with somebody who's drinking beers and then having to get back through the lake and out and back home. Because it's not difficult, but it's not like you need to be like alert and know where you're going and maybe not be inebriated at all. So anyway, overall, it was innocent and they were just having fun climbing up the rocks and jumping off and going swimming. And that was really cool to see. And we all just kind of kicked it and had a good time. I don't know what we were thinking, but the watering hole that we were at was the only watering hole that we could get to without a boat. So that's also why a bunch of people were just right there, because there was no access anywhere else to just walk up to the water and do your thing and spread out. And it was very much like cliff and then water and like just a little bit of sand and then water. So while we did try to fish a little bit, it just wasn't going to happen because we weren't out far enough. And with all of the activity, the music, the people playing in the water and swimming, the kids jumping off the cliff and into the water swimming, there were no fish anywhere in our area, like nowhere near. I mean, people had their dogs out there on their surfboards and things like that. There was no fish. So we cast a hook and a worm a couple times, but my shit kept getting stuck on rocks and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go sit down. My dad's hook kept getting stuck on rocks and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna sit down too. So we mostly just sat out, feet in the water. I fell in the water once, but it was fine because it was warm enough for me to dry up pretty quickly. It felt so good. We had some nice breezes here and there. So we just sat and we ate. I brought a couple of my favorite burritos, my shrimp burritos for us to eat, and some chips and just snacks and, just enough to hang out and enjoy ourselves. So, but on the way into the park, what time is it? I need to hurry up. Let me cut the story and go. All right, I'll finish this when I get home. I promise. I'll finish it when I get home. Bye. All right, it's the next day. I went to work and then went home and then didn't record. It's the next day. So let's continue with the story about what I did on Monday. So, took Monday off, the Monday after Easter, took my dad up to the lake that is nearby. And it was like it was a whole thing. I told you before that I was going to skip the first 4 hours of this day. Totally wasted because just shit happened. By the time we get to the lake, half of it is like closed off. No, a third of it is commercial. A third of it is closed off. And a third of it was like unfamiliar territory. Like the spots that I was used to and the like roads that I was used to get to said spots were gone. Like the way that you can close off an entrance and a trail and totally be somewhere else is like wild boots, and I hate stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, fine, I haven't been here in like since COVID, and who knows what they did since then. Either way you slice it, the one entrance to the state park part of the lake was totally unfamiliar. And just when I think that I recognized a place, it wasn't where you could just like walk up and like get in the water and like play. It was boat, it was like marina. It was like if you don't have a machine to get down here and into the water, then it's like cliff and like there's no way, right? So we're like driving around the open part of the state park, trying to find where the best spot would be, trying to find where we can just like walk up to the water, right? There is nothing. Except for when we like get in there, like we do see this one little spot where people were putting their like their canoe surfboard things, but we're like, that doesn't look like the best place to like pitch a tent and like hang out, because it's just like, okay, maybe this is their shit. There's got to be somewhere else. There wasn't. So by the time we rode all the way around as much as we could, we go through the campgrounds, we go through the Discovery Center part, we go here, we go there. We went everywhere. Nowhere. So we're like, okay, we can either like throw this whole idea away and like try it again somewhere else, or we can go back to the one spot that we found with the surfboard canoe people and like just go there. So we decided to do that, even though it took us a minute to remember where that even was. Oh my God, it was so much driving, and it was getting hot, and I was getting frustrated, and it was like it was just really sucky because I had this idea of like what I wanted the experience to be based on previous experiences, and it just was not happening, and the day was going by, and my dad wanted to go somewhere else, and I was like, I really don't want to do that, and it was just whatever. So anyway, as we were like going through the park looking for this magic spot of mine, I'm seeing these signs. You know, it's like those yellow signs that are like watch for deer, watch for buffalo, watch for ox, watch for whatever wild animal it could be out here roaming and maybe in the road. So I see that. And I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, okay, there could be animals around the lake. That makes sense. But how about as soon as I saw that sign and then like we turned down one of our dead end corners, there were two. Okay, the sign was beware of burros. 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 Donkeys. Beware of wild burros. And I'm like, okay. But I didn't think of it because you see those signs everywhere and you never ever see the actual animal. It's like, all right, there's wild animals around here. That's a big surprise. But as soon as I saw that sign and then I looked over, there were two wild donkeys under a tree. And I was like, oh shit, I've never seen that before. That's so cool. And they were just minding their business by the side of the marina, just under a tree, nibbling on whatever the hell that was. And I was like, okay. So then as soon as I saw proof of said animal in broad daylight, I was like, okay, Dad, now that I've seen it, we need to keep our eyes peeled for any additional animals that could be in the road, because some of the roads that we were driving were like windy and like you could go around a cliff and you never know what's going to be right there. As soon as I said that, oh, a bee. I need the bee to like pollinate my lemon trees. Anyways, as soon as I said that, we go around the corner to get back to said watering hole. And what's in the middle of the road? A wild donkey. And he's just standing there and he's looking right at us with his like long nose snout thing. And just looking. And donkeys, they're really cute. Like they're and I know there's a difference between a burro and a donkey. I know that, but it's just easier to say donkey because that's what the fuck it is. Right? Their faces are just so cute and like, I don't know, like little babies, like precious moments ass looking animals. They have like these really soft eyes and these long eyelashes. And he was just looking. And we're like, okay, are you gonna go that way or are you gonna go this way? And so we drove up just a little bit very slowly and he started walking. He just walked out of the front of our lane in front of us and then walked into the other lane, which was bad because he was looking our way and he should have been looking that way if he was going to be in the lane just in case someone else was coming back around. But anyway, he moved his ass out of the way. And so it was like after I saw those first 3 donkeys, I started seeing them everywhere. They were everywhere. And I have never, first of all, as long as I've been going to said lake, I have never seen any wild animals out there. Nada, nunca, nothing wild and breathing except for humans at this lake. So to go from never ever seeing an animal to now it's like covered in donkeys. What a random ass animal in the desert to be, whatever. It was just really interesting and funny and like peculiar at the same time. They were just everywhere. So then what? Fast forward to, we pick a spot at the watering hole, we pitch our tent, we set up, we put the chairs, and we're comfortable. We're doing our thing. We've got music, we've got drinks. We're like doing our thing, right? But where I selected to pitch said tent was like a really popular spot, and I did not know this. Okay, so it was like, I don't know, how can I explain it? It was like 2 cliffs, one on each side, the road down the middle, and then the road just stops and it's just like water that goes out, right? And so on the side of where the water starts, there's like a little, like, I don't know, maybe 3.5 to 4 feet of rocks on the side of the water in between like one of the like cliffs. So the side of the cliff, 4 feet of rocks, and then the water starts and goes out. So I was like, oh, let's get up against the cliff in this side of rocks. We're right up against the water. We can just walk up a little bit as far as we can and like fish. And, like this is a good spot. But the cliff and I didn't realize this until later, but the cliff that we set up against, it kind of had like levels to it because it was like kind of low where we were. And then there was another layer that was a little bit higher. And then there was another layer that was a little bit higher. And then if you look up and over, there's like the huge part of the cliff where people were like climbing up and jumping off of into the water. So we were kind of like on the lowest part of this like gradual cliff thing. Another reason why one of the reasons why it was popular where I picked was because apparently that's where kids, they take this like side rocky area, they climb up on the lower part of the cliff as far up as they can, and then they go and jump off into the water. So we had parked our shit right in the middle of that trail. And like I said, we went during high school senior ditch day, and it was like 75 seniors in different waves coming in a line, just coming. They cut right through our shit to get up this mountain and to jump off water. And then when they were done swimming, they'd come right back down and come through, which was fine, but it was a little bit annoying because it was like, it was just annoying. It was like a bunch of kids and like wet. Ugh. But it was fine. They were just having fun, minding their business, and they were respectful and very polite, and apologized for cutting through, and like it was fine. Somebody raised some of them right. That, and then so cut towards like the last 40 minutes of us being there, it started getting, well, yeah, the sun had started to go down, but it was still pretty bright out. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me like munch on my burrito a little bit more and just kind of snack, because we were done being like doing fishing or trying to fish, and I was done playing in the water. I had already fallen into the lake and had to dry off, and I had finally dried off, so I was like, I'm not gonna get in the water anymore. So I was just like, oh, let me munch on some of my burrito or whatever. And, I'm sitting there, I got my foil and I'm eating or whatever. And by this time, like I said, there were, like right after we set up, it was like, let me think, the teenage girls and the teenage boys, and then the one family that was joined by like another family. And then it was another separate family. And then it was like 6 families that had pulled up and were hanging out in this small watering hole, like a bunch of us, right? And kids. And one of the families, it was like a couple of women and like 4 or 5 kids, right? The youngest one, there was like a baby boy. He was like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. He was like watching his brothers. They had to have been like 10 to 12 years old. And the 2 boys, they were very, very capable of swimming. They swam well. They had their goggles on. I don't know what you call those, swim glasses on. And they were just playing. But the baby boy, he didn't have a jacket. He could not go and swim and play. So the entire time he would like walk out to the water, put his feet in the water and play and kick the water and chase the ducks that were harassing us. And he would like watch his brothers or his cousins or whatever swimming and playing in the water further down, which was on the other side of me. Okay. So I'm sitting here. The baby boy and all the families are way over here on this side of me, curved around the entrance to the water. And then the cliff is this way, and more water and swimming and jumping off of the cliff is happening over that way, right? So I'm sitting here eating my burrito, and this is towards the end. Then all of a sudden I kind of look around at everybody and I see the baby boy looking at me. And he's like, you know how you see something interesting and you're just kind of like, you have this look in your eyes and you're just like mesmerized. And he was looking at me and he was saying something. I'm pretty sure he was speaking Spanish. So I was just like, why is he looking at me? Is he looking at me or the brothers? Because I was watching him watch his brothers all day, and his gaze didn't look like that. So I was like, is he looking over here or where are the boys at? So I looked over to see where his brothers were, and they were in the same place, playing, swimming. So I looked back again at the baby boy, and he's still looking at me, and he's over there like mumbling, saying something, and I'm like, what in the world? But he's like focused, like gazed, and I'm like, okay. And so I keep eating my burrito, and then I look at him again, and he's still looking at me. So then I was like, that's kind of weird, like what is it? So I look back again at the brothers to see what they were doing. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this big long face and this big ass donkey. He was like coming off of the cliff to like the smaller part of the cliff, and I'm sitting right up, we're sitting right up against the cliff. And all of a sudden I look and I see this big ass horse donkey thing literally coming down the cliff, headed straight towards me. And I was like, oh, that's all that I could get out was, oh. And I look, because my dad was sitting right next to me. I look at him to see if he noticed, and he's like, what? And I was like, and he's like, what? And he looks over and he's like, oh, hell no. So the donkey is coming fast off of this cliff. He damn near jumps off it. And I'm like trying to wrap up my burrito and stuff it in a bag because that's what he was after. He smelled my burrito from wherever the fuck he came from and came from way to get it. And I was trying to wrap it up so quick. And by this time, I could hear the family with the little baby boy kind of like, like, and laughing and just like, oh my gosh, this donkey's coming to get you. And so that's what he was looking at. The boy saw the donkey coming from wherever, and he was just like, oh shit, what's about to happen? He was watching, waiting, but he didn't say nothing to me. He was speaking the Spanish and I didn't understand what was happening. He should have said, hey, he should have pointed to the animal. But anyways, now I know what he was looking at. And so I'm stuffing my burrito in my bag, and no sooner that I do that, I mean, it was like milliseconds, right? I see the donkey, I'm like, I look, I point, and he's like, oh shit. And then I'm like wrapping up my burrito, I'm balling it up, stuffing it in my bag, because the chair that I had all my bags and stuff hanging, rather than having them on the ground and ants and like bugs. No, they were just hanging. So the donkey comes right up behind me. I wish I would have got video of this, but everything was happening so fast. The donkey comes right up, right here behind me, and puts his nose in my bag and is trying to get in the bag. And I'm like, I almost like touch him, but I'm like, this is a wild ass donkey horse, so maybe don't touch him. Like I wanted to push him away because he was here, okay? The donkey was here. I wanted to like push him to get him back, but I'm like, no, there's no way. So my dad was like, put it in the car, put your bags in the car. So I grab all of the food bags, right? Did I grab all of the food bags or just my burrito bag? I grabbed all the food bags, got up really quick, and like headed to the car because again, Cliff and Donkey are over here. Families and cars that were parked are over here. So I get up and I walk this way towards the car. And my dad was like, and take that donkey with you. And I said, huh? He's like, take it with you. The donkey? He's like, yeah, take the donkey with you. Because otherwise he was gonna like continue to ransack our like little camp and like, I don't know what the hell he was gonna do to my dad. But the donkey came back around my chair and followed me through the camp to the rest of the people towards the cars, following me with the bag of burritos. I throw the bag in the car really quick before he like pounced on my ass and turn around, and he I guess he's like, oh shit, well she got rid of the food. So before he could continue to get to me, he saw the little baby boy and his family. They had a table set up. It was like, what do you call it? What do you call it when you like sit in the back of your trunk or your car and watch a football game? What do you call that shit? What do you call that? You know what I mean? Like you're outside of the stadium and you're like having a cookout in the back of your trunk. What is that called? Shit. Anyways, that's what they were doing. So they were sitting in the back of their trunk and they had their table out and their like food or whatever. And the donkey pivoted and was like, oh, y'all got some food? Because they were like laughing, and because I was like, like freaking out. And they were all looking, laughing, and it's like, oh, it's a donkey right here, right? So they're getting a kick out of it until the donkey got to their ass and was like trying to eat their food off of this table. And so the grandma over there, she was like trying to push him away, push the nose away. And this donkey, I guess they're stubborn. And I knew that, but like forgot about that because who thinks about donkeys, right? They're stubborn. They want what they want. And so she was pushing his nose and trying to push his whole body away. And granted, this is not like, I don't know like what a normal sized donkey is, but these look like little babies, like ponies, very much pony sized. She's trying to push him away and he just would not. So finally, because everybody starts screaming, the little baby, he was kind of scared and screaming. The grandma she took her took one of the boys' goggles or something, and like I couldn't tell if she like punched his nose with it or like hit him like on the snout to like make him go away. But whatever she did, it was effective enough because all I could see was the donkey going. And then he turned around and like walked away. He did not like that. So whatever she did, it was effective in getting him away. But then he makes his rounds. He goes to each family's camp and ransacks everybody's shit. Now he must have got something at the next family's camp because I heard everybody scream and go, ah. And the donkey stayed there for several minutes. So he must have got a hot dog or something. Because I don't know if they saw him coming though, honestly, because the other families, they had like made their camp out of like their trucks. This was the tow truck family. They had put their tow trucks around their camp. And so it was like their truck and then some of us were on the other side. So I don't think they couldn't even see that what was happening until the donkey went around and got in their ass. Stole a hot dog and a hamburger or something. But it was just very random between the plague of teenagers, these miscellaneous ass donkeys everywhere. It was just really weird. And then we had these two ducks that would not give up. It was just these two. They had to be like coupled up because one would not go anywhere without the other. And they just kept swimming around, swimming right in front of us, seeing if we had dropped anything. One of them got super cozy and like perched up right next to me and was going to take a nap until the little baby ran him off. It was just really random and interesting, but that was my day and night on Monday. That was a 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. day. We left the lake at about 7 o'clock. The sun was going down, and if you would have left it up to my dad, he would have like spent the night there because he's that kind of guy. But I was like, hell no, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I need to like get prepared, rest, get clean, and I gotta go to work tomorrow. And plus it was like, we don't want to be trying to navigate our way back to the highway in the dark. Like, this is a state park, there are no lights. And it made me nervous. I was like, we don't need to be going down these windy roads and like dead ends and like miscellaneous ass cliffs and marinas in the dark. So let's start heading down the mountain and towards the highway before the sun completely goes down. And also I have to pee something serious, and state parks, they have porta potties, and I was like, nope. And they have a couple of bathrooms, like permanent bathrooms, but I'm like, that is in the opposite direction of like the exit. So I'll hold it, but we do need to pack our shit up and go. So by the time we left at 7, like just before 7, and then we stopped to get food and sat for a bit, and then I got home, it was like 8 o'clock. And so that was that. Now, again, it could be, I did have fun. And we had everything we needed to be comfortable for that time frame. but it could have been more fun and it could have been more comfortable if we would have just had our spot and if we would have just had enough space to spread out, because it kind of sucked being so close to everybody else, because not everybody is as considerate as I would like and as considerate as I am. And so we were literally like having speaker battles. Like, if you see somebody already posted up and you're about to post up, fine, and you have your own music, your speaker, fine, but like maybe point that shit your own way, or like maybe not blast it all the way up to like drown out the people that were there first. Like, that's stupid. Even the teenagers had more sense than that, which is why I prefer them over adults, because adults are entitled assholes. But it just would have been nice to like go away from other people, even though we were there for first. So I think we said that if we can find out better like how to work the lake and like how to get into the spots and stuff, then we would go back. I told him that I wouldn't mind doing something like this again for the 4th of July. I would prefer it be at my local lake and not hours and hours away to where I'd have to stay the night, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, that's my story time for the first day of National Infertility Awareness Week. Had nothing to do with nothing. That's just what I did that day, and which totally jacked up the rest of my week. But I am grateful because I don't think I caught up on rest from the long weekend that I had, to the point where I'm exhausted this week, and I'm so glad that it's Thursday and the weekend is coming up, because I am going to sleep so good. Sleep in. But yeah, so all right, that's that. I'll insert some clips, I'm sure. I got a few clips of said burro. All right. Huh? So they brought their big dog out. Big old dog. Now, would I be the asshole for going not only to work, but I have like a off-site meeting to go to today, and I'm going to be out of the office all day? Would I be the asshole to just go to work like this? Because I sure as hell didn't roll my hair last night. And so this is what happens when I just like scrunch it up and lay on it. In my eyes, sorry, I'm trying not to. In my eyes, it's giving bedhead. Like sexy bedhead. That back there. Don't look in my closet. It's giving nest, not sexy bedhead. And I don't know what to do other than leave it alone. Because if I keep messing with it, it's going to straighten out, and then we're screwed. But the frizz here, leave it, because I'm about to fuck it up. But it's very frizzy. should I do? I don't have time. I literally have to go out the door right now. So I don't really have time to do much. But if I walk this out in confidence, it's like I did it on purpose, right? I have got to get a grip on my closet. I don't know. What should I do? I mean, I have to leave it alone. There isn't anything I can do because and I'm not gonna put a lip on because I left my other brush in there. I'm not gonna put a lip on because what if I put some edge control on? Will it look intentional? Let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna put some pomade on. I hope I don't. I feel like this is when I fuck it up. I'm gonna put some pomade on, and I feel like it will make it look better. But also, I put makeup on, so it might also clump up brown, like edge control does. But this is not edge control. This is a pomade. I prefer it, I think. Let me brush it out. And actually, let me go on a little heavier. The other thing about this pomade in particular, I don't know if all of them do this, but this pomade is water-based. So it just makes my edges curly. But if I can put this on and then lay it down for a minute or two, then it looks like something. I don't like using toothbrushes because it's not strong enough. Hold on. I don't really like using edge control so much personally because I feel like my edges are already a little weak. Oh, I need to put the trash out. Shit. It's Friday. I need to put the trash out. It makes it look better. It does. It makes it look better. Now this curl is going crazy, but I don't care. It makes it look better. Oh God. That's better, right? The light in the camera is making everything look more shiny than it actually is. Like my grays. I mean, they're graying, but they're not like sparkling like this looks on the camera. All right. I'm just gonna go with this messy bedhead full of curls confidently, and it's gonna look like I did it on purpose. Perfume, I'll wear the Versace again. I need another perfume because I don't always want to wear Versace for work shit. This is supposed to be for like special times, not work. All right, I feel better. I don't give a fuck about this, to be honest. My curls are always all over the place. I don't care. But I'm not gonna do a lip. I need to figure out what shoes I'm gonna wear. And I need to go because I'm late-ish. Oh, another thing, look at my eyes, right? I don't know. Probably in other videos you can tell because I don't do this every day. I need to find the proper remedy for it. But so I am really, really, really struggling with allergies. I just have to lay this down. I have to lay it down for a minute. Anyways, I'm really struggling with allergies this season, and it shows up in different random ways. Like my eyes have not been itching or like as much as they can. They just haven't been itchy, but they have been red to the point where I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like I look sick. And I'm like, my eyes aren't necessarily, they don't feel dry. They're not itchy. They're just red, like something else is wrong. So I just tried, I put in some Visine drops one day and like within minutes they cleared up and it's amazing. This is how my eyes should look. I put drops in this morning. They don't look like this every day. They're red and disgusting. And so I read online that this is simply allergies, some sort of inflammation, but I can't use this Visine eye drops every single day because it says allergy relief though. Online said that, yeah, this is an O. Well, I don't know. It says that I can't use this every day for some reason. I don't know, but I might need to find something else. Yeah, that ingredient says that you shouldn't use this more than 3 days. And so I don't. I was doing it like every other day, and I'm like, for what? And then, so now I'm just doing it as I have events and like important things where people are going to be in my face or I'm going to be in somebody's face. I need clear eyes, not scary red eyes. So I feel so much better. Now if I can just get these teeth white, they're coming along. But if I could just like zap them and get them white real quick and then just keep them white, I would love that. All right, just checking. I'm done in here. I need to find shoes and get the hell out. So that means you can't come because I'm going in my closet. Bye.